As Texas fans, we've been looking for that quarterback, that special quarterback that coaches have to game plan for, someone that is always running for the Heisman, someone that the team can put their faith and trust in when the game is on the line so that we can go ahead and win the game. We've been looking for that quarterback for years. We remember the smiles that Colt McCoy gives, the emotion that Vince Young had anytime he stepped on the field. Do we have that quarterback on campus? Is that quarterback Quinn Ewers? Well, let's dive deep. This is why Quinn Ewers will be the starting quarterback for this upcoming season.
There's no better place to follow the future than on orangebloods.com and the Orange Bloods Texas football channel on YouTube.
We all remember Quinn Ewers' beginning, the feeling he had. It felt like a child coming back home. It was amazing. That first game was a little rough, but that game against Alabama, that first quarter, where he just looked unreal, magnificent, something electric about his play that gave hope to all Texas fans. But then he got injured. As Texas fans, we were just waiting for him to come back, waiting for the day for him to heal up so that he can play and we can get that feeling again. And here comes Oklahoma, our biggest rival, and then Quinn Ewers comes and destroys them with his arm. He looked magnificent. In fact, he looked transcendent among other quarterbacks. We already were thinking this guy could win the Heisman. But then there are other people that were telling us to slow down the brakes. Come on, fans, slow it down. We don't know what we have with him. But it was hard to believe when you remember Alabama, when you remember the whole game against Oklahoma. But then things started changing. Iowa State came, and Quinn struggled. He looked human. He didn't look like the quarterback we saw earlier on. Oklahoma State came. Then other games were coming where the second half of games, he just didn't seem like himself. He seemed a little, I guess you could say, rattled or just different. Of course, you can blame coaching on not adjusting to the other opponent, but it just seemed like he was missing something. Those deep balls were not connecting with his wide receivers. It just seemed like Quinn Ewers wasn't the guy that we thought he was. Then there was a perception going on regarding Quinn Ewers. Could it be possible we were dealing with a kid that was relying on talent this whole time? Maybe this was a quarterback that was born with such gifts, such talent, such ability to throw the football that even throughout high school, he didn't have to put much work in because he just had that. He was able to achieve without trying that hard. There's perception that maybe he wasn't trying to understand the small nuances in the playbook when it comes to Steve Sarkisian's offense. The reality is even if this is true, even if it is true that Quinn was maybe feeling himself, maybe relying on talent this whole time, the reality is we're talking about a freshman quarterback. Yes, I know it says redshirt freshman quarterback, but he graduated high school early. He missed a year of high school development before he got to the college level. And the reality is sometimes some players, despite them relying on talent or ability, they have growing pains. They have a period of growing pains before they get to where they're supposed to be. And that is what I think is going on with Quinn Ewers. Now, when you look at Quinn Ewers' stats, it doesn't scream to you, oh my goodness, this is a next level quarterback. This is a Heisman winner. This is a first round pick. He had 58% completion percentage, 2,177 yards, 15 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. Again, that doesn't scream greatness. But the reality is I'm gonna say this again, he was a freshman quarterback. Now, I know people would like to use the comparison, well, you know, you had someone like Caleb Williams that came in and lit it up. But the reality is Caleb Williams also had some struggles, but he's also a unicorn. Not every quarterback that you're going to recruit is a unicorn. I'm sure even Lincoln Riley understands Caleb Williams is a unicorn. That being said, There are other quarterbacks that struggled, whether it was the Colt McCoys of the world, the Vince Youngs of the world, the Kyler Murrays. A lot of quarterbacks struggle when they first start, and I think Quinn Ewers had his growing pains. Now, it's hard to really feel that way, especially with the way the season ended. The season ended rough. There were some moments where you just want to throw your hands up in the air and you're asking yourself, Quinn, what are you doing? But then you have to also remember there were moments before he was struggling where you're just jaw dropped. Whether it was the throw he had to Jatavion Sanders, where he let him open. Those moments, the taste of greatness, I still think is there for Quinn. He just needs time to settle in and to make that version of himself more consistent. And the word I used there was time. He just needs more time. Sometimes in life, you need that humbling experience in order to grow. You need that embarrassing moment in order for you to wake up. If Quinn Ewers was truly that quarterback, the guy that was relying on talent, the guy that wasn't studying that much in order for him to achieve great things, well, his back is against the wall, and there's only two ways this can go. It's either he's frustrated with himself and he's upset with what his play was. He was upset with the losses, reviewing some of the tape and seeing those mistakes, and that fires him up for him to not feel those same feelings anymore. Where now in the offseason, he's studying nonstop. He's trying to understand what the offense entails. He's trying to be the best version of himself. Or he could just be frustrated that things aren't going his way the way it used to be. He could be frustrated that he has to put in a lot of work in order for him to achieve greatness. And then he falls in the abyss and falls in the background and possibly transfers. So who I think Quinn Ewers is, not that I know he is, but who I think he is a quarterback that's frustrated with himself for last year's performance. He had goals for him to go to the NFL this upcoming year. A lot of the things that he wanted to achieve didn't happen. And if he's truly a fighter, if he is a kid that grew up as a Texas fan and understands what it means to be a quarterback at the University of Texas, he's going to put the work necessary for him to be the best version of himself. Now, if the best version of himself isn't enough for him to be the starter, that is okay. Because then there would be another quarterback that overcomes and is better than the best version of Quinn Ewers. However, if Quinn Ewers can awaken that sleeping lion in him to become the best version of himself, that could be a very scary sight. With all the weapons that are around on this offense, an elite Quinn Ewers could take this team over the top, and we could taste victory, we could taste greatness that we haven't tasted in a long time. Another reason why Quinn Ewers' back is against the wall and he needs to figure things out is because there is a young buck behind him, Arch Manning, a member of the elite Manning family, a family of quarterbacks that have done things at the highest level. We already know Arch Manning came in on campus working hard, showing that he's here to compete. And if Quinn Ewers slips up, oof, well then that job might not be his anymore. So he has to work hard, he has to fight, and he has to battle in order for him to see the field. Another thing too is I feel like Quinn has changed. He's cut his mullet, he shaved his beard. He seems like a different person. You're hearing reports that he is studying. He's trying to do things differently. He's learned from his previous year. All of this is really exciting to me because for quarterbacks, it's not really about how they start. It's how their legacy finishes. And if Quinn Ewers is holding up a Heisman Trophy, or if he's holding up a Big 12 championship or a national championship, every Texas fan will remember the story of Quinn Ewers. This is a Texas football fan's take on why Quinn Ewers will be the starting quarterback at Texas. Now, to be clear, I'm not saying he's going to be the quarterback 100%. I'm just saying he could be if certain things go his way and if he's truly made the changes he needs to be successful. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Orange Bloods Texas Football channel.